It's super creative here. Everybody's trying to do something fun, new and different. And like, I mean, every day I meet somebody new and I'm kind of blown away by their skills, you know? So like, it kind of keeps me on my toes. Sometimes you're in the studio, sometimes you're outside, you know. It's really nice to work outside, just because of all the people you get to meet, and you know, there's a lot more exposure. People like come by and like say hello, and usually are like, "Wow, this is so cool!" Like all those fancy people down there. How's it going? It's fun, and I get to do this for a living. It's awesome. It's a lot of work, but it's like, people come up to me all the time and they're like, you are living the dream. It's like, this is what everybody wants to do, is just kind of follow their passion. And I'm getting to do it, so it's pretty exciting. I came down here, they called me, I just knew I was gonna do a mural, or probably do a mural. And then I show up and it's this thing, ginormous wall.
Yeah.
In this particular one, they just said, we want it to represent Austin. So, and that's it.
Hi there, my name's Kristen Atkinson. I go by Sika for my art-related projects. I've been doing art almost exclusively in the last 2 years, so yeah, it's been quite an adventure. I've known Brad for about, I want to say, probably 18 or 19 years. We got involved in doing art together, and somehow got into doing murals and street art together. Not exactly sure how that happened, to be quite honest. I have been doing art probably since day one. I actually remember being probably 2 or 3 years old and sitting on the kitchen floor in front of the screen door. We had these cobalt blue drinking cups, and the light was coming through it. And I remember just looking at it and realizing, I had this eureka moment where I realized you can draw the shape of a cup by drawing an oval with two sides coming down instead of drawing, you know, like a circle. I remember that to this day, being really surprised at realizing that and realizing how to render something that is 3D onto a 2D surface. And I feel like a big part of art is really the ability to observe your environment. We situated this mural so that the figure on the piece would be facing west, so when the sun was setting it would be hitting his face and hitting the majority of the top part of the mural.
Ever since I was a little kid, I've drawn. It really took to me like meeting Kristen in college when I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. This is, you know, something that just blew my mind. And since then, I've put my heart and soul into it. Something's coming through us, and it's getting put on the wall, and luckily we're getting to be a part of that. So.
I think Austin is like a unique city in the sense where the street art is so welcomed and so like, I would say in a lot of ways not on the radar for law enforcement in terms of the illegal part. So because it's more relaxed in that way, I was able to kind of freely experiment, freely create things, and then with that kind of spread my name, which turned out to be great free advertising, and turned into a career in the art. So just the fact that this was a city that I felt safe to create and to create out in public, I think that's major. And then the fact that there are so many other creative people in the city. It might be feast or famine at times with the work you get, but at least he's doing it, waking up every day, getting to create. Usually when I do street art posters, it's usually recognize someone in pop culture that I think is, you know, fun, inspiring, or even comical. But we were reading an article about Draven in the paper And I just said, I need to do a piece that focuses on him. Like we saw where his church was in the paper, and just kind of scoped out the area to see where a good kind of canvas would be. There's an electric box maybe a few blocks from his church, so hopefully people in that community would see it. And what is my part of the story? What am I sharing? Is what I'm doing positive? Is what I'm doing, does it matter?
I grew up in Houston. I would come up to Austin because my aunt and uncle lived here. So like almost probably once a month or something, we would come to Austin. And so ever since I was a kid, I always felt like I belonged in Austin and never felt like I belonged anywhere else. It's really hard to describe, but I just felt like I could be myself 100% here. So I love the idea of empowering women because a lot of my favorite artists were women, whether they're painters or musicians. And so I like the idea of giving back through my art. One of the biggest ways I think that for me to empower women is to give women a voice, really listening to their story and trying to portray that story in my painting. Like I love the tango piece, the mural I did at Buenos Aires Cafe, because the woman is forefront and she's very strong and powerful. I really decided that the point of being an artist for me really was to express myself and not worry so much about the money. And I just really wanted to paint something that mattered. I started painting artist friends, so like these back here, and that's probably the most special series that I've ever done. We're so independent now where we want to be one person and be on our own, but really I think it's the groups. And so street art, that's kind of that group. I feel like street art are the impressionists, Everyone has a chance to be heard when it's street art.